Hey everyone, I'm Lorraine Driscoll, founder of Building Better Brains. And today I want to talk about what I hear a lot from clients whenever they're frustrated with, their child has really poor handwriting, they have poor speech, tracking issues, poor coordination, poor processing, and everything is just slow. And what all of this, or just not on time, what this has to do with is poor timing in the brain and connection to these different difficulties. So I'm going to talk today about what you can do to start improving that and further ways to help improve the cerebellum, which I've talked about quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. So if things are, not happening on time, or one thing is happening at a different time than another, that's where we're going to have breakdown where, child wants to walk across the room if they have, what do you call it? Just dyspraxia. Sorry, I can't find my words. Or just poor coordination. I'm going to say that because some people don't even realize your child has dyspraxia. But if your child has poor coordination and they're frequently clumsy, that has to do with how their timing in the brain is not lining up with what their brain wants to do and their body wants to do. And that will connect to everything else as well. It will connect to their writing, in terms of their motor control. It will in terms of how they play sports. It will affect their speech. This is huge with speech as well. And obviously it's going to affect their reading. It's going to affect their eye tracking, their processing speed in their brain. It's a hallmark of learning, behavioral, motor difficulties, all of that type of stuff. Things are just not happening on time. So all of these things are related to timing, and no amount of tutoring, IEPs, extra practice is going to fix that. And again, as I always say, these things are not bad. It's right action at the right time. So it's not about hours a week of doing something. It's about doing the right intervention, and especially doing the right intervention at the right time. So I want to just share a quick little story of this boy that I worked with. His name was Daniel. Mom was, let's call her Beth. He had a reading disorder. He had writing difficulties, coordination issues, and speech problems. But he was such a cool kid. So he was like 11. And he was like, I don't know, he's charming. So he was really able to, I think, I didn't have a lot of issues with being bullied because he was kind of charming and witty and so forth. But he did have issues, right? With mom was always, like a good mom does, trying to do all of these different things to help him with these difficulties. And when he came to me, he said, "Hey, I'm Daniel. I'm mom's project." And honestly, my heart just broke for the kid. It was funny. It was witty. And I was very clever. But, I, saw that underneath that tough guy armor was a kid who felt deeply inadequate. And I know that a lot of you can relate to this, because when I talk to moms on the phone and I say, what is your, top 1 to 2, maybe 3 concerns with your child, they'll name something specific their child is struggling with, and then they'll often always say their self-esteem, right? And how could this kid not feel inadequate when he's struggling with all of these things, has been to all of these different, done all these different approaches and not seeing the results? Anybody would feel that way. So it definitely took a bit of coaxing and helping Daniel to understand that it's not that his brain is broken or that he has a bad brain. And the reason why it's been taking so long is not because there's something wrong with him, or he's stupid, or he's dumb, or he's slow. It's that he needs the right intervention at the right time. And he needs what's called a bottom-up approach. So we were doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. And I said to him, it's like we're putting a cast on a leg that hasn't even been set yet. So he did get on board, and we started working. We did the, primitive reflex integration, brain balancing, all of that type of stuff I do in my 6-month program. If you're interested, you can book a call. I'll put a link in the comments below. And we worked on the cerebellum, and we used a metronome, and all of a sudden we really started to see results within months. His speech and coordination started to improve so much that his karate teacher was like, what the heck is going on? Like, asked mom, what is she doing? Because there was just such a change in things that he struggled with for so long. He was seeing real results with reading at school. He went up several reading levels, and to the point where the school called and said, we feel like he could actually try the Spanish immersion program now. So he did that. So long and the short of it is, once we improved the timing mechanism in Daniel's brain, he really started to soar after years of being in in therapies that are based on compensation as opposed to correction, that are top down as opposed to bottom up. And those therapies, again, are fine, but you have to build the brain from the bottom up. It's a hierarchy, and if you try to start up here, it's like putting a roof on a house that does not have a foundation. So you might be wondering, okay, so what can we do to improve the timing in the brain? So obviously we do all kinds of intensive stuff in my program, but just a few things that you can start doing at home, or even just to get an idea if your child's timing is off, as well as their cerebellum development. So this is timing and cerebellum. So first of all, you want to try some balance exercises like the tree pose. And then if they get better at that, then have them close their eyes and do it. Marching on the spot, or cross crawls where they're kind of going back and forth, but more slow. And you do it to a metronome app. Start off at like 40 beats per minute and see if they can coordinate and do it faster, and then go across different parts of their body and so forth. And again, they could march to a metronome and play catch at the same time. So they're keeping the same timing with their body, and then they're having to coordinate and do that hand-eye coordination where something's being thrown at the same time. Because as I keep saying over and over, the body is what builds the brain. So we need those lower brain levels to be built through sensory motor stimulation. That is where it is weak when kids have learning, reading, writing difficulties. Other things is balancing on a wobble board and playing catch. That's a little hard to do a metronome app, but you can try it. And other simple things that kids maybe buy into a little more. Dance class is phenomenal for doing so many good things for the brain. Like, sometimes it can even integrate certain primitive reflexes in terms of brain balance, improving coordination, improving timing in the brain. And maybe your kid is shy and doesn't want to do dance class. They can do it at home. There's all kinds of dance classes that they can access online, YouTube, whatever. And maybe you have a 12-year-old boy who's like, there's no way I'm going to get my son to dance. So then you could try things like karate and taekwondo and so forth. Usually it's not that's going to be the thing that's going to fix everything, but they're definitely worth trying, and they definitely can improve things, especially if your child is younger and so forth. So we do all of this and more in my 6-month program. We combine nutrition, gut healing, detoxification, all of that type of stuff with the brain training and so forth, technologies and so forth that help to really accelerate kids so they're going leaps and bounds so that they're not always behind. So if you want to learn more about my program, I will post a link in the comments below, or you can go to my website, check that out, and click contact and book a free clarity call, and we can chat more about if the program is the right fit for your child and what might be going on in terms of difficulties and so forth. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.